The reflex action in our biology class. The reflex action. So what do we mean by a reflex action? Reflex action is also called involuntary action. It's a quick and automatic response by an organ or system of organs to a stimulus. For example, sneezing. You cannot control sneezing. Jerking of the knees. You cannot control. Coughing. You cannot control when it's coming. Laughing when tickled. They are all reflex actions. So we have what is called the reflex arc. Now this is the reflex arc, as you can see. The reflex arc is a nervous pathway taken by a reflex what? Action. It consists of sensory cells which receive the stimulus. This is the receptor can receive the stimulus and goes like this. In. Sensory cells that receive the stimulus and send it to sensory neurons, also called the what? These are the sensory neuron. Neuron is also called the afferent neuron. Then it will now move in. This is the intermediate neuron. Then that is in the spinal cord, you have the intermediate neuron. Then to go back to the motor neuron. That takes it finally to the effector. Effector is the muscles. Effector is the muscle. While this one can be skin. You suddenly put your hand on a hot object. The message will be sent to the spinal cord through the sensory neuron to go through the intermediate neuron and the motor neuron to the effector. Effector is, it is hot, withdraw your hand. So it is a quick action. It doesn't have any business with the brain. It goes straight to the spinal cord and back to the spinal from the receptor to the spinal cord and back to the effector. Effector is to say withdraw or act. So we have the voluntary action. Voluntary action is an action consciously taken to respond to a stimuli. You know what you want to do. I want to walk. I want to jump. I want to dance. Voluntary because something you are doing through willpower. You have a control over. It's called voluntary action. Now there is learned behavior or conditioned reflex. We have the learned behavior or the conditioned reflex. When a child is born, the child does not know how to walk. The child will learn walking. If you are driving a bicycle, you will learn how to ride a bicycle. You will learn it. Initially, you will be falling. With time, you perfect it. Swimming, not everyone can swim. So people learn it, how to swim. Also, writing is something you learn. Apart from writing, also other examples, reading. They are all learned behavior. So a conditioned reflex is an acquired behavior over a period of time of exposure to a particular stimulus. So once learned and mastered, it can be performed without thinking. That is called a learned behavior. So what are the differences between voluntary action and what? Reflex action. Number one, reflex actions are based on the action it gets to the brain. Reflex action is initiated. Voluntary action is initiated by what? The brain cell. It involves quick and automatic response. If you let me take it carefully. Is that your response? No, your response. Before you know, you have dropped the ball. Hey, I spilled the soup. So you see that response is neither quick nor what? Automatic. Then you have this one is inborn. Reflex action is what? Inborn. It's natural. Why this one is what? Learned. You learn the voluntary action. You decide. You take a decision to do it. Then it involves a minimum number of cells. That is the reflex action. Voluntary action involves a lot of cells, involves large number of cells. Response to a particular stimuli is allowed, is always the same. In reflex action, the response is stereotyped. It's always the same. In voluntary action, you can control the action. The action, you can decide to say, I want to walk, I want to run, I want to jump, I want to swim. You can decide. But in reflex action, you cannot decide. Blinking is blinking. Everybody blinks the same way. So it's stereotype. It's the same thing. Then we have the arc takes a shorter distance, as you can see. This one takes a shorter distance. Involuntary action is going to come from the receptor to the spinal cord to the brain, back to the spinal cord, back to the what? Effector. You see, this is longer, is it not? From the receptor, the skin, to the spinal cord, to the brain, back to the spinal cord, and to the muscle. But here, voluntary is just receptor, spinal cord, effector. You see that the voluntary action is longer pathway, while the reflex action is shorter pathway. And finally, it occurs unconsciously. The reflex action occurs unconsciously, something you cannot control. While the voluntary action occurs what? Consciously. So in our next class, we'll be looking at the endocrine system. Thank you for